Hi, everybody. I'm Nicole from Hair of the Dog, and I'm here with Megan Murray from Megan Murray Photography in Houston, Texas. And she is going to tell us a little bit about her journey. I met her a few years ago when she was just starting her photography journey at one of my Hair of the Dog retreats. And now she is a mom of two who just took a leave of absence from her corporate job to give all of her energy to her family and her business. So Megan, we're excited to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. If you maybe just take a few minutes and tell us a little bit about the beginning of your journey, what made you start to want to go down this pet photography rabbit hole, and kind of just your your beginning from when you started to where you are now.
Sure. So I would say if we go back 5 years ago, I was very much a hobbyist photographer, and I was taking okay images, but I really didn't have a plan for opening a business. But then through a friend of a friend, they mentioned that you were hosting a retreat in Florida, and actually I just kind of signed up on a whim. So I thought, dogs, photography, Florida, what's not to like? I'm going to go have myself a little mini vacation.
Tax deductible too.
So I signed up and traveled to Florida and met you and some other really lovely ladies. And that was really kind of the first time that I thought, okay, I think I might actually start a pet photography business. And so I went home from the retreat. I was actually pregnant with my second daughter at the time. And I spent about the next 6 months or so really laying the foundation before I opened my business. So doing things from, making it legal to working on my website, doing model calls so that I could build up a portfolio, really all of that front end loading, so that when I opened my business, it would be ready to go. And that's exactly what I did. So in January of 2016, I opened my business, and now I'm in my third year.
That's awesome. Congratulations. That's so great. And I'm guessing you didn't get to the third year and being able to leave your corporate job by doing online galleries. Am I right?
No, I didn't. And, interesting. So I did, I have been working full time. And when I first envisioned starting a business, I thought, okay, I just don't have time to sell in person. I'll just do online galleries. But that's one thing that you really steered me away from. And you kind of gave me the encouragement and the push to work less and make more by selling in person. So really right out of the gate, I structured my business selling in person.
That's great. And you found basically that your clients and you really love that portion, right? I mean, I know that's one of the highlights of my experience with my clients.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, they're thankful because they can't make those decisions on their own. It's way too big and overwhelming. They need someone like us to say, yes, that would be beautiful. And they'll say, okay. For sure. Just tell us real quick, because I'm a numbers girl. I know you're an engineer background, so you're a numbers girl. Just share, because your first year numbers and actually all your trajectory of numbers throughout your last couple years has been awesome, and I'm so proud of you. So if you don't mind sharing those, it's okay to be, I know you're humble and it's all good. So it's okay to brag a little here.
No, I'm not afraid to talk about numbers. I think it's so important. So my first year, I had 7 clients and I grossed $20,000 in sales, which I was over the moon about. I mean, it was so exciting. And because it was such a part-time, job at that point.
Right.
And my second year, I almost doubled it. And then it's my third year now, and I'm on track to double it again. So
that's awesome. Congratulations. That's so great. So Megan, what would you say are some of the things that maybe were the biggest game changers for you? Like were there aha moments throughout your last couple of years where it was just like, all right, I'm on a whole new level now, or like I'm feeling more confident about this? Are there any aha moments that you want to share?
Yes, so I think there's a couple keys to success. One is implementing in-person sales. Another one I think is giving some thought on how you would like to market. I know you, Nicole, like to do silent auctions, and I've actually also had a lot of success doing silent auctions here in Houston. But marketing isn't just a one thing. You have to do a whole myriad of different types of marketing. And I think that's one of the things that you cover really well in the business course is, the different types, whether it's charitable marketing or silent auctions, or even just putting your website to good use, because really that is the 24/7 salesperson for you.
Yep.
So I spent a lot of time in the beginning blogging regularly so I could get my SEO up. And Google searches brought in probably 50% of my clients for the first 2 years. Now I'm starting to get more referrals and repeat business, but Google is still pretty strong as far as that.
Yeah, Google's huge. I found that for me too. Silent auctions, Google referrals, and charitable marketing tend to be my main kind of bread and butter marketing, and email marketing. I always tell people, if you don't have an email list, like, do not pass go, do nothing else, go to MailChimp and sign up and get it right now. Because I mean, that's basically, you can almost print money from it, because it's like, all right, I need to get some more word out. Oh, I have this, I can create this special opportunity. And usually there's 1 or 2 people at least on your list, even if it's only 100 people, that will be interested and possibly partake in it. So yeah. So have you found the same with your email list?
I have, and it's really interesting because a lot of times I just feel like I'm talking into a black hole.
Right. You're like, no one's interested in this.
Like, why isn't anybody talking back to me? But actually I had 2 clients, and they were 2 really good clients this year, who told me, we've been kind of watching for over a year, just waiting for the right time to book. So I think, social media and email marketing definitely, there are people out there, they are watching what you're doing, they are interested, they're just waiting for the right time for them.
Absolutely. I always tell people it's definitely a long game, but it's a long game you got to play if you want to have success, because it does pay off. And there's a lot of people too, I tell them not to get frustrated when people contact you. And like, the first time anyone really contacts a photographer, and usually the people booking us, at least my people, are young professionals. They may or may not be married. If they're not married, they haven't even had the sticker shock of wedding photography yet. So where they still think that photography should not cost anything, or just a couple $100 and you get everything. So if this is their first experience looking at professional photographers, they're always like, holy cow, that's so much more than I thought. But I encourage people not to get frustrated with that, just to be of service, and so if you have any questions, or you want to, I'll be here if you find you would like to do something in the future. I would love to work with you. And just leave it at that, and keep them on your email list, and they come back around. I've had a lot of clients that contacted me like 2, sometimes 3 years ago, and then they get in touch and they're like, okay, we're ready. We really want to do this now. Like, saved up the money. Like, I had some people that were in grad school. They're like, I've got to wait till I get out of grad school, but then I'm booking. So don't get frustrated by those. You're too expensive, or I can't afford it. And I always tell people too, if you're not hearing you're too expensive, then you are not priced well enough. You're not priced sustainably, because you'll always be hearing that here and there, and not to take it personally. So Megan, tell me a little bit, kind of, how are you feeling now after, compared to when you first started, like, now that you've gone through the workshop and the program, like, how are you feeling now about the future of your business?
I feel really confident about it. I wouldn't have taken a leave of absence from my day job and stepped away from that big paycheck if I didn't feel comfortable. So, I've seen steady growth, and it's, very exciting. The one thing you were asking about, if there are any major aha moments, and I think that, realizing that owning a photography business is probably 90% business. And maybe only 10% photography. So I think it's really key to understand, all of the business aspects that goes into running a business, to make that successful. I happen to really like the business side of it. So it's right up my alley. But yeah, I think, and the other thing too is if something doesn't work the first time around, that's not a failure. It's more of a learning experience.
Absolutely.
I've had plenty of flops in my last 2 years, or, something I thought was going to book, like crazy, and nobody books.
Yep.
But, I take away something, learn something from it, and then try the next time, and then you never know.
Yep.
I think owning a business there's a lot of business stuff, but it's also a lot of experimentation. And that's actually what makes it really fun, because you're the boss and you can experiment and do whatever you want.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree. I still sometimes try different things and I'm like, oh, that didn't work so well. And I also encourage people to kind of reframe their definition of what a successful marketing campaign is. It's not filling the rest of your year's calendar. It's getting 2 or 3 great clients, even one great client. If your return on investment, it costs you like 2 hours of your time and a couple bucks, and you got a great client, that's a successful marketing strategy. So, yeah, we've all definitely been there, and it is something that you're always focusing on and trying to be creative. I think it was a Sue Bryce quote that I heard somebody say the other day, that marketing should be like the most creative part of your business, like even more so than the creating photography, because there's just so many different ways to do it, and it's always changing. Yeah. So Megan, is there anything else that you maybe want to say to somebody that's out there, maybe in the shoes that you used to be in, where you're starting your business and you have some ideas, but you aren't really sure, and any advice you want to give them to hopefully get to the place where you are today?
So I think before going into it, you want to understand why you're going into business. And that's going to be different for everyone. For me, I like a challenge. So to me, it's very, fun to be my own boss. The other thing that I was really searching for is more flexibility with my time that I can spend with my family. So far, I'm really loving the extra time that I can go pick up my daughter from the bus stop or go volunteer at her school while still working my business at the same time. So I think, having a clear picture of why you want to be in business. And then I think after that, your course was a game changer for me as far as step by step, what do I need to be focusing on, and, really setting me up for success. So all the way from like the boring legal stuff. Yes, it's boring, but you have to get it done. And then you get into the more fun stuff like branding and website and, marketing and sales and pricing and numbers and then even like time savers. I know, Nicole, you're really big on automations, something that I still probably need to go back and revisit a little bit more. But certainly I thought the course was very all-encompassing, and it certainly, has changed my life, really.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you so much. Well, thank you, Megan, for taking the time out of your busy day to chat with us. We really appreciate it. And we will catch you soon. Why don't you let everybody know where they can find you if they want to follow along with your adventures?
Yes, meganmurrayphotography.com is the website. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram with the same handle, Megan Murray Photography.
Awesome. And it's MEGANMURRAY, right?
That's correct.
All right, perfect. Awesome. Thanks again, Megan.